Hey, yo, what's up, folks? Here we are live this afternoon, and my guest here today has been on with us before, but we got the word that he is in the main event of the ProBox card coming up June 7th in San Antonio, Texas, against Juan Carlos Burgos. He is originally from the 407. Yo, that's Orlando for those that don't know. All right. But now he's residing in the Houston area. Currently with a record of 18 wins, just 2 losses, and is swiftly climbing up the rankings in the lightweight division. It's the $1 million man, Justin Pauldo. What's going on?
Hey, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it, and I'm glad to be on the show.
Yeah, for sure, man. As mentioned there, you'll be back at around the Techport Arena. They're facing Juan Carlos Burgos live on ProBox TV. What was your reaction getting that news that you're going to be headlining about there in San Antonio, Texas?
Well, it was always exciting to be back on ProBox TV, especially in the headliner. At such a great venue that I had a great showing at my last fight in front of all the fans in San Antonio. They got a great crowd of Mexican fans there, and they really love and support boxing. So it was very exciting, and I look forward to conquering this great opportunity I have.
Word. Now, we got this thing here with Burgos, and he's a no-name in the division as he's faced, many names out there like Mikey Garcia, Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis, and Andy Cruz. He has about 50 pro fights in his professional career. What have you seen from him in previous fights that you could add to your notes or, to your repertoire while you're getting prepared in camp?
Well, coming this fight, I know who this guy is, and I know that he's a very crafty veteran who's been in there with a lot of guys. So I have to come on my A game. I have to be 110% for this fight. So he's probably seen just about everything in the ring, but he's never faced me. So it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something different. He see, and of course I know that he knows a lot, so he's gonna be smart. But I'm gonna be smart too, and I think I'll go out there. I believe I'll go out there and be victorious and also be dominant in this fight.
Word. Now you had this previous bout that we were talking about. You're against Shavkat Rakhimov, and everything went well on that fight there, culminating in a knockout victory. And pretty much like had you on the map there in the WBO and the WBC. Now, what do you take about that particular performance into your bout here against Juan Carlos Burgos?
Well, I just keep riding off of that high, but that fight is already over and done with, and I had a great count for that fight, and I'm having a great count for this one. So it's just about me just staying focused on the game plan, and going in there and just dissecting this guy, breaking him down, and doing what I gotta do to win.
Word. Yeah, because like you said, you out there in camp and everything like that. You had the one camp in reference to Shavkat, and now you have this here just preparing for what you have against Burgos. So that could be pretty much different there. And speaking of that being a camp, you're out there at Coach Ronnie Shields' gym in Texas. You've been around there with a number of fighters, such as Andreas Katsarakis, Lorenzo Truck Simpson, David Ruel Jr., Euenis Tejas, just to name a few. What is your experience being out there in the Texas area with Coach Ronnie and also Coach Travi out there and many others?
Oh, well, just being in this gym, it's a great atmosphere. We have a lot of great young upcoming fighters who we all feed off each other energy. We all push each other, and we under the great tutelage of Ronnie Shields. So it's an awesome feeling and a great environment.
Yeah, I've been out there. Well, it was like one time last year. Was seeing a number of the fighters there, you along out there and stuff like that. So you definitely have a lot of people to work with. You have the times there in the gym or running out outside the gym and things like that. So you pretty much like had that brotherhood experience with a number of those fighters there.
Yes, absolutely. We all feed off each other. We all push each other, and just we look at one another. It's never a competition. We all just motivate each other, man. So it's great.
Word. Now, one thing that recently happened here, this is within the past couple of weeks, you re-signed with Fighters First Management, headed by Jaleel Mazzone and Adrian Clark. Now, with that presser that happened in Atlanta, you said something to the extent of, it was a pleasure to be a part of Fighters First Management, and that you're going to finish the year strong and look forward to a lot of great fights there in the division and becoming a world champion. Now, would you say that particular plan can be possible within the next year or two?
Absolutely, it's possible in the next year or two. I just gotta stay focused and win these fights that's placed in front of me. Go out and be dominant. The fans is gonna demand these fights. I'm gonna keep moving up in the rankings. I got the right team behind me to make all the smart business moves behind the scenes, but I gotta go out and just continue to win. I gotta just remain focused, and they got the plan laid out, and I just gotta follow it.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, got a few more questions here. A few more questions in reference to the sport and things like that. But I'm gonna kind of like delve off that for a little bit because sometimes we have a show there with of course a great coach Ronnie Shields each week, and during that we have a little bit of a segment of basically like a rapid fire Q&A and stuff that don't necessarily have to deal with boxing, but it could be something that you will be able to answer, right? So it's just something where you have a preference maybe of some things, depending on the question. You feel me?
Okay.
All right, got it. All right. So one would be like this. All right. Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
Neither. I don't drink sodas.
Oh, okay. So then this next question probably wouldn't apply either. McDonald's or Burger King?
Neither. I don't eat that either. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How about this one? Nike or Reebok?
It depends. It's 50-50 with that. It depends. I like both.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty much like a toss up then for you.
Yeah, that's really a toss up. I wear both, so I like both of them.
Gotcha. All right. New York City or Las Vegas?
Vegas. I'm not a huge fan of New York.
I feel you. So there you go, man. That that's just a few of them there that we kind of like do on the on the regular each week there with Coach Ronnie. But you kind of like did your thing there with this one so far. Where all right, so we'll get back at it. What do you feel is the most important tool for a pro fighter in the game or for yourself? Is it marketability, your skill level, motivation, or resilience?
For me, resilience. Just staying focused and being able to keep focused through all the ups and downs of my career.
Mm.
I had to stay resilient.
Yeah, just staying focused, staying on the path basically.
Absolutely. That's been the thing for me.
Word. Now, here's another one, right? If it's like anybody in the past, you would say, what style would you say that you could be similar to in the past in the program?
I can't particularly say it's just one because I got a few different favorite fighters who I take different things from, and a couple of my favorite fighters would be I love James Toney, Floyd Mayweather, Marvin Hagler. So those are a couple of my favorite fighters of all time. So I kind of just take what I can get from each one of those guys, and I like them all for different reasons.
Word, no doubt. Now, I guess you kind of like mix that offense and defense there, with James Toney, slipping and moving. You had the whole thing with Floyd Mayweather doing that as well, and with Marvin Hagler, he was able to properly have an offense that really like overwhelms their opponents.
Yeah, I really Marvin Hagler. I love his mentality, just the killer instinct and the mentality. James Toney, great counter puncher, punching both hands. Floyd Mayweather, master defensive fighter. Excellent counter puncher, just smart IQ, know how to break fighters down and figure them out. So I love those guys, man.
Yeah, and all of them were gym rats too. So they pretty much like lived in the gym, and like with James Toney, for example, like he would love to be in the gym and spar. Like he would spar anybody and everybody. It didn't even matter.
They just love boxing and worked hard. So
yep. Pretty much to this day, he'll probably still be doing it, man. So that's definitely a good set of people to look up to or basically emulate style off of there. Now over the summer here, we got coming up. You got fights that are at the top of the lightweight division. We have something scheduled there for Keyshawn versus Edwin De Los Santos. And you got Shakur Stevenson fighting William Zepeda. And we could see a rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Rose Jr. What, if anything, do you see from each of those fights?
First off, they're all great fights. And I look forward to seeing how they go. You know, in boxing, you never know what could happen. We all know who the favorites are in those fights, but you never know. And I look forward to just putting on another dominant performance coming up in my fight. So by the end of this summer, I could be mentioned in the likes of those fighters. I want the fans to start demanding to see me in the ring with those guys and comparing me, thinking about, okay, how would this fight go with this guy, that guy? But I have to keep going out and keep being dominant so I can be mentioned along with those guys and I can enter the ring and fight one of those guys in the near future.
Yeah, and the thing there, being on ProBox, particularly there with these past couple of fights that you've had there,
Yes.
a number of the fighters have went on to have great success there in reference to like high profile bouts, being in world title bouts, and being able to win a world title bout. So this is kind of like part of that player. You're there under ProBox TV, and then under Fighters First Management that has you in that set move in order for you to climb up those rankings, and then eventually get a world title shot there in the lightweight division.
Absolutely, that's the goal. That's the plan, and as long as I stay focused and keep trusting in God, it all come to fruition.
Gotcha. Now, here's another fan question here. This kind of like is relation to the last question.
Mm-hmm.
How would you rank the champions in your division?
Or like saying who's the top? It's kind of you have to. Well, I would think you probably have to put Tank number 1, Shakur at number 2, and Keyshawn at number 3, and then Loma would be 4 just because of inactivity.
Yeah, man. The thing with Loma is, from what I'm gathering, I don't know, man. I don't think he gonna be getting back at. So
it looks like he might be it up. So, but he's had a great career.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Maybe we could get something for you to get in those IBF rankings, because I know you got Ray Murray. There's the interim IBF champion, but maybe you could get in a position there in the IBF, and then kind of like go after that too. I mean that could be possible as well.
Absolutely. Either any section body I can get a shot in, I'm willing to go that route, and I'd be excited to fight any of those top guys. So it'd be great.
Word. So okay. So I've got a couple more off-topic or so questions there in reference to like I was mentioning there before with the choices. Okay, since you ain't say much about the whole thing with the sodas or the fast food joints. Okay, what is your favorite go-to food then?
Pasta. I like to make spaghetti, chicken parmesan. I love Italian food in general.
Gotcha. Okay. Your favorite exercise, would it be running, jumping rope, or I don't know, maybe say like calisthenics, other calisthenics?
Running. Yeah, I like to run. It's very peaceful for me.
Gotcha. You pretty much like get out there as far as like being outside, out wherever go wherever.
Yeah, I'm an outdoor person. I love being outside since a kid. So running, it's like therapeutic. It's just you got a lot on your mind. You go for a run, it make everything better. It just feel good.
All right, word. Okay, with that being said, out like a park in the forest or going out to the mountains?
That would be a toss up for me too, because I love being outside. So I would hike, do either one. I would love to do either.
Okay, all right. So would you just have like a regular bicycle, or would you roll with a motorcycle, if anything?
Bicycle. I ain't messing with no motorcycle, man. I'm scared of that. I'm cool.
Word. I feel you. Real quick shout out to my guys here live watching. Shout out to Jay Pallon in the building and L Dub in the building, man. What's good with you? A couple of those questions there. I got to give a shout out to Round 9 General also with providing a couple of these questions here, for this interview here with, of course, $1 Million Man Justin Pauldo. And no, it doesn't come from the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. That was from our last conversation. They just like I said, he chasing that $1 million. That's what and he has that mentality. That's why he say he the $1 Million Man. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, we talk about the thing there with your plan as far as like getting up there to being a world champion within the next year or two. Wanted to speak more in reference to you being part of Fighters First Management. As I had Adrian Clark on earlier this week, him talking about that press conference he had over in Atlanta, Georgia. And, we said like a number of great things there about you as far as like, working with you over the past few years and seeing you grow and come up there. So, talk more about being part of that Fighters First management team.
Well, it's been an awesome experience being with Fighters First management team. And just like the name, like we all say, they put the fighters first. That's the main thing. That's the greatest thing about this company. And they're like family, man. And I have a great relationship with AC and Jolene, and it's just been great. I know that coming soon, they're going to get me them big opportunities to step in the ring. They've been putting me in the right position, the right fights to build towards that. And I look forward to the future with them.
Yeah, now of course you have like Adrian that's kind of based in around the Texas area and things like that. So you're able to go chop it up with him or whatever it is. So it really isn't that much for you to get out there to see him and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can call them up or see them whenever. Same thing with Jolene. I can call her up and talk to her whenever. We all have a very good and close relationship. They keep me updated with everything. They always keep me in the loop, so I always know what's going on with my career. And I feel like right now I'm part of the best management company in the game.
Gotcha. Real quick, more for my folks here in the live joint there, man. Aunt McQueen in the building, man. Big salute, says shout out to you, man. And Jay also says, looking forward to your bout there in June against Juan Carlos Burgos. Of course, it's going to be headlining the ProBox TV card there June 7th at the Techport Arena in San Antonio, Texas. So definitely looking forward to that right there. Now I know you've been doing work, at the at Coach Ronnie Shields' gym. But also, you mentioned there that you be back and forth with Texas and going around your hometown and things like that. Like, have you been doing some work over in like Florida, like Orlando or Tampa or something like that, over in those gyms?
No, not really. I haven't been training back home. I just been back home to visit and stuff. But I bring my brother out to camp. My older brother, Juan Pauldo, he comes out to camp and help along with Ronnie Shields and Latravier. So we all have a great team together, and I feel like I got like every piece I need to get to the top right now. My team is strong, and we having a great camp, and it's been great.
Word. Now, sometimes over at the camp there with Coach Ronnie Shields, I think Travia kind of like implements a few things there, but sometimes you have like music going on and music going down. Once you be out there in the camps or in the gym there with Coach Ronnie and them, like how does that like add to the whole feel of being in that gym?
Hold on, I didn't hear the question exactly. What did you say again?
Like sometimes you have like different atmospheres in different gyms. But
Hmm.
here in this one, sometimes you'll have it to where they play music that get fighters loose or get fighters going and things like that. How does that add to the field there at Coach Ronnie's gym?
Well, we have a great atmosphere there. Well, we having fun and we working at the same time. We joke along and we have fun, but we get the job done. So the atmosphere is great. It's an atmosphere where we all push each other, and it's a group of hungry fighters who are all trying to get to the top. So it's the perfect environment to be in for any young fighter.
Word. Now, big up to my guy L Dub Boxing here in the building. He's asked like, how do you like working with ProBox there at Daniel Rubin and Gary Jones?
Well, it's been a pleasure. They've given me great opportunities to showcase my skills, especially in the last fight. Getting a step in the ring against a former world title challenger, a tough guy, and they giving me another opportunity in the main event to go out and showcase my skills against a tough, crafty veteran. And it's been a pleasure, and I'm thankful for all the opportunities I have gotten so far, and I'm thankful for the future I have ahead.
Word, for sure. Like I was mentioning there with ProBox, they've been doing some great things here within the sport of boxing, and particularly over the past few years. And I mentioned a number of those fighters that's been fighting on ProBox that have been able to become world champions. So
Yeah.
that's the move here that we're trying to do here with Justin Pauldo. My guy Jay Pylon here in the building as was your KO win over Rakhimov your favorite win to date?
I have to say yes because that was the most accomplished and seasoned fight I had ever stepped in the ring with. Um, and I went out and I put on an excellent performance, and I finished the fight in a spectacular fashion against a guy who I was the underdog against, who had been in the ring with big names and things already. So yeah, that was my favorite so far.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I mean, like I was saying before, man, you just had everything clicking on all cylinders there and was able to, get that statement victory there over Rackamov there. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Just Do Boxing here in the building. Peace to you, man. Here with the $1 Million Man, Justin Pauldo. Of course, he has his upcoming bout here June 7th on ProBox against Juan Carlos Burgos, headlining the thing there, main event. Y'all be sure to, tune in and everything like that, because it's going to be real key here in this lightweight division as Justin Pauldo climbs up those ranks there at lightweight. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with that division. We talked about it, with the the world champions there in the division, but it's been a very, very busy division out there. We talked about the champions. We got other fighters out there that's climbing up the ranks as well. So you're pretty much like in the mix with a lot of those contenders out there.
Absolutely. I think coming off of this last fight, I have clearly established myself as a contender in the division, and I have the talent and the ability to challenge any of the top level guys, and I have the ability to beat them. So coming soon, I will be stepping in the ring against them, and I'll come out victorious once I get my opportunity.
Word. Now, I mean, we have a former world champion there. What I would say, just recently a former world champion there. In Dennis Berinchik, that's they're up at least right now it seems like around number 5 in the WBO, and I think I had where was it? Yeah, number 5 in the WBO there, as he was a former WBO world champion. So maybe that's part of the plan where you could get yourself up those rankings there within that particular sanction body, and then eventually challenge for a world title. So hey, maybe I could make some phone calls or something, and say, hey, how about this Justin Pauldo versus Dennis Berinchik maybe later this year or something.
Absolutely, that would be another great fight for me. But as of right now, I'm 110% focused on Juan Burgos. This is a tough challenge in front of me. A very crafty veteran, like I said before. So I'm excited for the future, and I look forward to all those big fights. But first, I got to handle my business on June 7th in dominant fashion to get to any of those big fights.
Yeah, of course. There, you have, as I mentioned, there with the guy that has almost 50 professional fights there, and a lot of experience there within those, close to 50 fights. As I mentioned, that you would try to be able to be impressive in this particular bout that says, hey, okay, I see what Pauldo's doing here against Burgos. Now we could have, these potential matchups down the line, but it's more about what's happening on June 7th in ProBox TV there against Juan Carlos Burgos. As I mentioned there, it headlines the fight card. We're going to have, I think the co-feature about is Michael Angeletti versus Eros Correa. And we got scheduled for like 6 total bouts on that ProBox card. So those listening live, those that's going to be watching the replay, be sure to mark that down for June 7th. There in San Antonio, ProBox TV there, man. I was going to see if there was like anything else maybe that we hadn't necessarily covered. But, in our last conversation, you said like you're more of like a laid back type of person and things like that. Like you be chilling out and all that type of stuff. You don't really kind of like do things outside of the box, so to speak. You know what I mean? More like what I would say, the whole like social media thing and all that type of stuff. Like, that's cool, but you still want to, kind of like do things your own way and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I just like to be who I am as a person, be myself. I'm not really like the biggest talker as in getting on social media all the back and forth and he say calling out guys and things like that. I just like to put my head down, work hard, go out and put on great performances. I know I keep winning, knocking guys out, and winning in dominant fashion. All of those opportunities are the big fights to come. I don't need social media for that. The fights speak for themselves, and the fans demand those fights that I want.
Yeah. As long as you handle business in the ring, the other people will talk for you.
Yes.
That's pretty much how that will work on that front. I mean, so that's mainly what I was looking at here. As he got like, hey, it's gonna be around a couple of weeks. It's gonna be coming out here fast here. Let me see here. Let me see. We got more questions reference to Fighters First Management here from my guy L Dub, right? Yes, like I mentioned the thing there with Adrian Clark. Now he's asking about Miss Jolene, their Fighters First Management, and do you ever pick a brain on the boxing knowledge?
Absolutely. Being around Jolene is great. She got years and years and tons of experience of being around other great fighters and some legendary fighters from back in her days with main events. So it's always great to sit and talk with her and just hear those stories and just get knowledge from her about how these fighters' careers went and things they went through. So it's great, man. It's been a pleasure being around her.
Yeah, I mentioned it with Adrian Clark, and he talked about her as far as like her history in the sport, and he basically does the same thing as far as like asking those questions about what was happening there, with main events and other things like that, and how like what she does kind of like helps him in a big way. There, being part of our Fighters First Management there, so that was really big thing on that front.
Yeah.
Is there like anything else you would like the fans to know about here? Like if you have like I know you got the thing where you don't really do social media stuff, but is there like any other way that folks can follow you?
Well, I'm on social media at Justin Pauldo. That's on Instagram, Facebook. Um, so just follow me. You'll get updates about the fights, and look forward to seeing me go out and put on the extra spectacular show. Tune in. I'm sure it'll be a great card from top to bottom, as ProBox always put on great shows. And look forward to a dominant decision, a dominant win by me.
Gotcha. So big thanks here. And my guy Jay says, hey, that bout's gonna be fire. Looking forward to it. Says your right hand is epic. So that's what we're gonna be looking for. We're gonna be looking for you finishing that fight with the right hand. Man, you know what I'm saying?
It'll be the right or the left.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Big thanks here to chopping it up here with us once again, man. That's it, the $1 million man, Justin Pauldo, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Thank you for
Big
having me
thanks
on.
here for chopping it up with us, man. Looking forward to that bout coming up on San Antonio, Texas, here on June 7th on ProBox TV. Y'all be sure to catch that. They're on the ProBox TV channel, whether you go online, you go on Roku, you go on YouTube, you'll be able to see it live and everything like that. So you're gonna see Justin Pauldo show up and show out there as he climbs up the rankings there in the lightweight division, man. So definitely looking forward to that, and hope to see you soon after the bout.
All right, man. Thank you. I look forward to it, and thank you for having me on. I always appreciate coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. And thanks for everyone listening live. Once again, if you like the content here, hit the like button. Share it all as far as like the videos and everything like that. And if you want to partially sponsor the show there, you see the thing down there at the bottom there, Cash at the Boxing Source. I'll definitely shout y'all out. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Jay Pylon there in the building, brother L Dub there and everything like that. And also to my guy Round 9 General for also providing some questions here for Justin Pauldo. So with that being said, y'all, I will catch y'all later. Peace out.